Hi, it's Marco here, and today we look at Netflix. The stock has dropped like a stone, and is this an opportunity or a trap? There are 4 things you need to consider, and that's what we're gonna look at in this video. And we don't beat around the bush on this channel, so dive straight into the first point, which is competition. Yes, so Netflix is a business that has got a lot of competition. This is definitely something you must know. And they have channels and companies like Amazon Prime, obviously it's another competitor. We have Disney Plus, and then we have Discovery Plus. This is just to name a few. Now, straight from their balance sheet, they said that the consumers have always had many choices when it comes to their entertainment, and that the competition has actually got stronger in the last few months, and they've actually taken up even more market, and obviously that is a problem for Netflix because they are trying to obviously maximize the revenues and take up as many customers as possible. But now with all this competition, it kind of becomes harder for them. And so from the competition point of view, I must say that this business, it's not like an absolute unbeatable business. No, not at all. It's actually a company that has got a lot of competition, and potentially it could actually have a lot of issues, especially in terms of growth. But unfortunately, this is not the main reason why I think Netflix stock dropped so much. There are other reasons, and as I said, there are another 3 reasons. The next one being the future growth of the company. And yes, I mentioned it earlier, but basically even looking at what they put in the balance sheet as a projection, you see that in 2022 they're actually projecting a much lower growth compared to 2021, 2019, 2020. Basically, it's gonna be the slowest year for them. And this is obviously very scary for big investors, not just for us. This kind of drop happened because big institutions decided that this company, Netflix, doesn't have the moat, that edge that big businesses should have. And so probably a few big players decided to just pull out their money and invest it elsewhere. And that's what we're gonna look at later in the video. But hey, there are other reasons why Netflix could be actually a quite decent business. And to be honest, this is just a company that I look at in my channel. This is what these videos are about, and this channel as well. Another reason why Netflix could be interesting is that the company anticipates to be cash flow positive for the full year in 2022. Basically, starting from 2022 and beyond, this company will become profitable. Yes, that's what cash flow positive means, but there is obviously a but, which is that they are planning to invest all their cash. They're not trying to just increase their cash position. They're actually thinking, no. We are gonna prioritize our cash to reinvest in our core businesses and to fund new growth opportunities like gaming. And we're gonna talk about gaming later. But the point being, although this company will be profitable, their main goal is to invest all their cash, which is obviously incredibly positive because they have to stay ahead of the competition. But still, this could become maybe a bit of a problem in the long run, because one thing that big tech stocks do, and it's very interesting, they just pile up a lot of cash, and every now and then they just buy out other businesses. And so that is something that Netflix for the moment cannot do. They simply cannot go out and buy other businesses like Google does or like Facebook does. They are simply another kind of business at the moment, but they're about to become profitable, which is actually quite good. And I talked about gaming. This is actually point number 4. The company is expanding in the gaming sector. Now, this is probably something very small at the moment, and in the future, hopefully it's gonna become much bigger. And in terms of how big it is, at the time of recording, they literally have just 12 games, guys, and titles include like Bowling Bowlers, Shooting Hoop, Theater Up, Asphalt Extreme, Stranger Things. So you see that these are all like very casual games, but it's interesting that Netflix has started, even though I was expecting them to not have any game basically out. I just found it starting from obviously doing my due diligence on this company as I was looking to possibly buy the dip, and I found out that they already have some games out. But as you can imagine, this is just a business that is starting. They don't have many games to start with, and that's the first point. Then not many people know that you can actually pay for gaming on Netflix, so that will be an extra source of revenue for Netflix. But as you know, this is not something that many people know. They will have to spend some money to advertise this, which obviously will hit the bottom line of the business, meaning the profitability of the business. And on top of that, it will cost them an awful lot to compete with actually decent games. What we looked at 1 second ago, they're basically games that, I'm sorry to say that, but they are very casual. There is nothing like very challenging, I must say, or probably nothing that would appeal maybe to real gamers, those who really want to get stuck in a video game and maybe play for hours and hours. This is more like easy playing when you don't have anything to do. Maybe you don't have a console and you just want something to play. And to be honest, would you pay for those games? That's kind of my question. Probably I kind of wouldn't, because these games are also free. Like, you can download a lot of games if you have an Android phone like I have. You can simply download stuff on your phone and everything is free. So why would you pay for Netflix? This is something that we'll obviously have to address sooner rather than later, and potentially that can be achieved by creating and providing much more complex games, and that will be interesting both for gamers and maybe even casual gamers. But hold on a moment, the last factor is the Fed, and the Fed is obviously what the whole market is looking at, not just Netflix. But obviously Netflix is part of the market, and so the Fed is the company, it is an organization that basically prints money. Yeah, that's the bottom line. If you just wanted to put it like that, they print money and then they decide when to stop printing money and to increase rates. So they kind of decide the monetary policy for the United States. So welcome to basically to personal finance. Now the Fed is signaling some kind of very bearish move for the market, and so the interest rate, they are planning to increase it in March, and so people are kind of scared of this, and there seems to be like a very much bearish outlook, at least up until March, when we're gonna probably see the interest rate hike, and then there will be even further rate hikes and policy tightening for the future. And so for these reasons, I believe that Netflix is not quite a buy now, but for the future, well, stay tuned, because I'm gonna review this stock in the future if it drops further, or if I believe that the Fed is gonna maybe change their policy, because when the Fed changes their policy, well, all stocks go up in some ways or another. And obviously the stocks that are better, they have a best business, they have the best value offer, those are the businesses that grow the most, and Netflix could be one of those. Subscribe for more of this, and thank you for watching.